Can anybody see my screen? Let me confirm that one too. Yeah, I think it's up. I can confirm that from my hand. Let me use this to check the chat session. Okay. Yes, I can put on my camera 5 seconds. All right. Welcome everyone to today's episode. Like for those that have been following, we've been talking about GitHub for a very long time, and welcoming every one of us to today's episode, sponsored by Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Today's date is August, the 7th of August, 2022, and I really appreciate every one of us for coming, and I believe we will not regret attending this particular event. Welcome everyone. Um, what we'll be talking about basically is the best way for us to leverage and VS Code source control to ease our use to ease the use of Git and GitHub basically. You know, it's a kind of tedious sometimes to be memorizing commands, most especially for people that are just starting up. It's very difficult for some, and at some point you will not need to. It's not only memorizing the what's it called, the commands alone. You have to memorize it and know the order you need to execute them. Okay, as we move forward, we will see what I'm talking about very well. So I am Rashid, and this is a little bit about myself. My name is Mudasi Rashid, and you can find me on Twitter at IBN underscore MUDATHIR. And I'm a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador. I'm a GitHub Campus Expert, and as well, I do front end. Most time I write React and any other thing that come under JavaScript. Uh, Before I proceed, can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, type one into the chat. If you cannot hear me, I believe I will not see any response in the chat. If you can hear me, one into the chat so that we can carry on. I guess nobody can hear me. Cool, nice. Yeah. Basically, as we all know, as we can see from our screen, I'll be telling us right now, who is this workshop for? This particular workshop, who is it for? Oh yeah, is it for everybody? Is it for some set of people? Is it for people that are good, people that are good in development, and people that are starting up? Basically, for this particular workshop, is for everyone. That's the simple answer. This particular workshop is for everyone. And why? Because VS Code that I want to be talking about, it's built for everybody. As claimed by the team that are managing it, they said VS Code is for everyone. We'll see that in a bit as we proceed. And it's for everyone and as well for everywhere, which means you can run it on Windows, you can run it on Linux, and as well you can run it on Mac OS. We'll see that in a bit very well. But then this workshop is for everyone, since VS Code is for everyone and everywhere. And remember, VS Code is free and you don't need to pay a dime to start using it. The basic prerequisite for this class is just for you to have Git installed on your machine, and secondly, install Visual Studio Code, which is VS Code that we have been mentioning, and as well, you have to have a GitHub account, an active one, so that we'll not be going through the rudiment of installing Git or configuring Git. Here right now, we are assuming you've installed Git before you come to this class, and you have Visual Studio Code up and running on your machine, and as well you have a GitHub account. If you do not have all this, you can still follow along, and I promise you, you will learn a lot through the process. Believe me. Okay. The learning objective for this particular workshop is simple. I know most of us are gurus, most of us are been using VS Code for a long time. Like we are used to using VS Code, but there are certain things we do not pay attention to. So I will be showing us a bit of the interface of Visual Studio Code, and as well how we can use um, Visual Studio Code to ease our use of Git and GitHub basically, and that's the focus of our workshop today, how we can use the built-in source control in Visual Studio Code to ease the use of Git and GitHub. That's the topic again, leveraging Visual Studio Code source control for Git and GitHub. Beginners do have problem. I've mentioned that before. They'll be like, how many commands do I have to memorize? I have to say git add, git commit, git push, and I cannot say git commit before saying git add. That doesn't work. Okay, you have to memorize the commands, and as well, you have to memorize them in order. You have to know the order you have to execute them. Okay, so sometimes it's difficult for you most especially beginners to be memorizing this and still be mastering what they are learning. Okay, we all know that they are learning particular things before they want to say, okay, I want to be using Git and GitHub. Okay, maybe they are doing web development or they are doing Android development. Okay, they want to focus on what they are learning and as well look of way of contributing to people and collaborating with others. Okay, that's what takes them to go and learn to be learning Git and GitHub basically. So instead of them to be now memorizing commands, Visual Studio Code come to their rescue and say congratulations to them. For those people that doesn't like memorizing these commands that we're talking about, I would like to check if there's people in the lobby that are trying to join us. None yet. Okay, cool. So people that find it difficult memorizing commands, this source control that we want to talk about abstracts away the memorization of this command of Git commands that needs to be done before contributing to open source, before collaborating with other enterprise projects on GitHub. Okay, if you launch your VS Code, this is your VS Code at launch. Your the screen on your right, like the picture you are seeing on your right, you see that's what you get immediately you launch your VS Code. And from the VS Code official documentation website, they said VS Code is for code editing, is for you to redefine your code, and it's free. Okay, let's see, is VS Code free? Can I use VS Code without paying? Do I need to pay any amount of money before I can use VS Code? No, you have VS Code free of charge. You can use it free, and you use it to edit your code, to refactor your code, and do a lot of things. And I've mentioned this before. It's free and it runs on everywhere. You can run it on Windows, you can run it on Linux, and as well on Mac OS. Okay, so these are the things that VS Code provide for us. At this point, I need to confirm again whether you can hear me. As you all know, network on the so bad sometimes. If you can hear me, type 2 into the chat. We know very well that okay, you can hear me and you are following along as we are moving. 2 into the chat if you can hear me. Getting that. Okay, cool, nice. So summarily, according to the VS Code team, he said VS Code is for editing codes, refactoring code. It's free, it's open source, and it's run everywhere. Today, what we are going to be looking at, this is the interface that we are going to be looking at. The red panel, the red rectangle at left hand side, at my left hand side here, is what we call the sidebar for the Visual Studio Code, and that is where the Git source control lives. The built-in Git source control that we want to talk about today, that's where it lives. And looking into it, we will see one orange circle, and that circle basically it's covering the source control tab itself. Okay, so basically, if you click on that orange circle, you're going to get the next blue rectangle, which is the action that you can take on your project on the folder that you are currently on. Okay, so moving on to the right panel, we see one curve, one red curve. This particular one, let me just use my mouse to demonstrate that. Okay, so this particular red curve is pointing to what we call command palette. This command palette is where we can insert everything that we want to do, every command we want to run. Okay, we said we are not going to be running command here, but then this is a kind of navigation tool, like a navigator for us that will be taking us from one thing that we want to we want to perform to the other, from one thing we want to perform to the other. Okay, so I'm using the arrow just to demonstrate that, okay, if you want to get this panel, you have to click, you have to press this particular command, which is Control, then Shift and P on your keyboard. So it is the one that will now give you this particular command palette. Okay, cool. At this point, I want to assume people that are following along with me, uh, they can be able to get the command palette without having any issue. Open your Visual Studio Code, press Control Shift P, then you have your command palette. That's what leads us to our first exercise. Uh, this one is telling us that, okay, what we should do is try to open an empty folder in our Visual Studio Code. Then we should try to click on the source control tab. Direct, let me show us back. That orange circle said we should click it. Then after clicking that orange button, we should try to click on initialize repository. Okay, so that's the step to follow for this exercise. So if you are following along, just open an empty directory in your Visual Studio Code, then click on source control tab, then click initialize repository. This is the solution of what we have to do. The red circle here is the first thing to do after opening the directory. This is the second thing to do, which is initialize Git repository. And after doing that, we have what we have in this right panel. Cool. I believe we are following along, and it's pretty straightforward for us. Okay. Now we need to talk about the actions that we can perform using Git. And what problem does Git solve? Okay, we're not going to be talking about the rudiment, the simplicity, why Git and all of that here. What we want to talk about is, okay, what are the actions that we can perform using Git? Okay, so now the first thing I want to talk about is branch. Okay, so basically the definition of branch, if you are looking for a definition as a student or somebody that wants to say, okay, if somebody asks me what's the branch, what should I tell the person? Okay, it's like a separate version of the main repository. Okay, you have a folder. Okay, that's how I usually explain it to people, that, okay, a repository is like a folder. Okay, but then you want to make a copy of that particular folder. Okay, like you duplicate it. So that kind of duplicating that you are doing is like you are creating a branch. If it can be tracked, like if you are doing one thing in the other, one thing in one, it will not directly affect the other unless you match them together. Okay, so that's a branch. It's like a copy of the main repository or of the main folder that it's supposed to have. Okay, so the next slide is telling us other actions that we can perform. Okay, when you up your VS Code, you done the exercise that we did in the last in the previous slides. Okay, and right now you are in your VS Code that's opened. Then you press Control Shift P to have your command palette. So inside your command palette, you can do a lot of things. By just typing branch, you will see a lot of things you can do on your branch. Okay, on the screen right now, you will see rename branch if you want to rename a particular branch. If you want to create a branch from an existing branch, and if you want to create a fresh branch, you want to delete a branch, you want to match a branch, you want to publish a branch, a base, and all of that. These are the actions that you can do directly on branch. We get this by just putting up our command palette and type branch into it. Then we have a list of suggestions of things that we can do. We see this in in the demo that we are going to be doing. Okay, so what we can do here is we can switch from one branch to the other. We can create new branch, delete branch, and we can as well publish branch. Okay, I think that makes sense to us. But there's one thing I want to show us here. In the previous slide, I show us a picture, but there's a yellow rectangle that I did not talk about. Now look at it. This particular yellow rectangle here at the bottom here, where I'm putting my cursor, I don't know if you can see it, but then this particular yellow rectangle at the bottom left of this picture, this image, black image that you're seeing on the screen, okay, is the name of your branch. That's the name of your branch. here, the name of my branch here is master. So if I want to change it from master to any other, like I want to rename it, I can just use this command, the first command on the screen here, to rename it to anything I want to rename it to. Okay. If I want to create a branch from it, I can create it from it and all of that. Okay. So if you want to keep track of the branch you have on your VS Code, just look at this button, this left hand corner here. See the name of the branch you are currently at. Okay. So another action that we can perform on Git using Git is we can have our what we are doing. We can add it to the index. Okay, the index head is the staging part of the repository that we created. Okay, so if you initialize a repository as you did the other time, there will be a kind of folder created inside your directory called Git folder, which is .git hidden. If you not set your machine to be showing hidden file, you may not be able to see it. But then it will create that file, and inside that file, every setting, everything that Git need to keep track of what you are doing will be stored there. Okay. If you now want to be adding things to your repository, everything, if you want to add anything there, you have to do what is called Git add, and you can easily do it using inside VS Code by just clicking on the source control tab here, then you can see this red circle, this small red circle, and clicking on this small red circle, you'll be able to add that particular file you want to move into the stage or temporarily stage it. Okay, so this temporary stage is that okay, you've made some changes. Now you want to move it from your system to Git so that Git will be able to track it. At first, if you initialize Git and you are writing what you are writing, be it document, be it codes or anything, Git will not be tracking it by default. You have to tell Git that okay, I want this particular one to be tracked. Sure you get okay. Doing that, okay, for you to be able to do that, you have to click on this button, this red button here. So it is the one now that will now tell Git that okay, this particular person that is working wants this particular file to be tracked. Okay, and if you want to what's it called? If you want to add everything or you want to stage everything in front of the change button here, you see another one that will tell you that okay, stage all instead of staging them one after the other. We see that in the demo as well. The next thing is commit. After you've added to the index, you have to commit it permanently to your repository. Okay. Before I continue, let me check if there's anybody in the okay, people are in the lobby that want to join. Okay, let me see again. OS. Okay, cool. So moving on, Git commit. Like you want to commit it, like adding it permanently. Okay, for instance, you had it. Okay, it's being tracked right now, but it's not being tracked permanently. If you want it, if you want Git to track your commit or your work permanently, you have to do what we call Git commit. And at this point, you need to add what is called commit message. What commit message will does will it will be the one that will now tell people or people that you're working with that okay, this particular person that is making this particular that is adding to the index, like to the edge, like index of the edge, like index edge. Okay, let me just put it that way. That is trying to push to this particular repository. This is what the person did. Okay, let me take it again. What Git commit does is okay. Um, Git commit message rather, what it does is it is the information you tell people that you're working with that okay, I've make a changes to this particular file, and the changes that I made, this is what hello everyone. Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, type one into the chat, basically because my light is off here and I did not plug my system. That's funny. If you can still hear me, type one into the chat. Can you hear me? One into the chat. Trying to reconnect back. you can hear me, one into the chat. Nobody can hear me. Okay, sorry. Lights just went off here, so I'm trying to reconnect back. It should be up in 2 minutes time. So nice. Okay, sorry about that, guys. If you have any questions so far, I can be taking your question right away now, so that you will not be looking at ourselves. Any questions so far? Type your question into the chat and take it up there. Question. Now, wow, fantastic. Is there any question?
Hello, Rashid. Hello. 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 Hello, Rashid.
I guess there's no question. Okay, if there is question, type 1. If there is no question, type 2. Into the chat, let me see. Okay, somebody is raising
Hello.
hands. You just type your question into the chat. I will not be able to hear you. That's okay. Join me back.
Hello. Hello, Rashid.
Okay.
For some reasons, I don't know why he got disconnected. You could ask your question, by the way.
Okay. If you can hear me, just confirm in the chat with yes. You can hear me, type yes into the chat. Let me know. I'm connected back. I can go ahead and share my screen. If you can hear me, yes into the chat.
Yeah, someone had a
Oh,
question, but we're kind of disconnected.
oh. Okay. No, no, well, I will take question when I'm done with the presentation. I'm off now. Can anybody see my screen now? Yeah, I think it's off. Nobody's typing. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, type yes into the chat. Sorry, I need to confirm before proceeding. If you can see my screen and you can hear me, one yes into the chat. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Samson, for that. Hello. People are trying to join. Okay, let me just be confirming there. Okay, cool. So, I guess what I was trying to explain the other time is Git commit and Git commit message. So, the info that you get your team member or people you are working with that okay, this particular commit, this is what it does. That's what this and what this commit message does basically. For instance, you add a feature. Let's say you are building a website and you add snap back to that particular website. You are building with your team. Okay, you need to tell your team that okay, added snapper or something else. Okay, at this point, every company has their own standard of commit message. Okay, that's why tools like Husky come into play for JavaScript developer. Okay, they will install Husky. If you did not follow the standard of their commit message, you will not be able to make a pull request or be able to match your pull request at the end of the day. Okay, so what commit message does is just to inform your team member that okay, what I'm working on right now, this is it, and this is what I've done, and all of that. Okay, so for you to make your commit, pay attention to the red, what's it called, to the yellow box. You have to type in your commit message at the top, then press the commit button. Then you have your work committed easily without need to write any command. Okay. Now you've been working locally, you make your you initialize your repository locally. You add to the repository both locally. You commit it. Everything is locally. Nobody is knowing about it online. Nobody is knowing about it elsewhere. But then you need to tell the whole world that you are doing something. You are actually doing something, and this is what you are doing by publishing it for the whole world to see. That's where Git remote and publishing that particular brand that you're working on for the whole world to see come into play. Okay, so Git remote or to publish basically means to be able to send it to the internet for people to see it remotely and to interact with more things and get feedback from people elsewhere. Okay, that's what Git remote does for us basically. Okay, if you press this particular box, give me a second. If you press this particular button, publish, this box circled by cyan rectangle. Okay, if you press this particular publish branch, okay, you get the next screen that I want to see. The next slide is what you get. Okay, then you'll be asked that okay, do you want to make a repository, and the repository you want to make, is it a public repository or a private repository? And you can easily do that by just pressing on by easily pressing onto the private if you want to make it private, and public if you want to make it public. Okay, and take note here, the name of repository that is going to be created for you will be the name of the folder that you create, that you are working on directly. If you want to change the name, you can easily click on the input box and try to change uh, the name you want to reflect on GitHub basically. So it can be easily done by just pressing the. If you want to make it public, you click the public. If you want to make it private, you click the private button. Cool. Let me check if there's anybody. Let's begin. Okay. So after clicking that, if you have not been using, uh, if you have not been using this particular method on your VS Code before, it will launch an extension to tell you that okay, authenticate your GitHub account. Then just follow the prompt by clicking yes where it is necessary, responding no when it is necessary. Cool. So basically, when you do this repository for you, a GitHub repository rather, and it will move everything that you have locally to GitHub, and you have everything you have offline, you have it online directly. Okay, I guess that makes sense a bit to us too. That's how to connect basically the local repository that you have with the to the internet. And yeah, public repository is what is accessible to everyone. If you want to create an open source project, you make it public for everyone to be able to see. But then if you want to create a personal project, maybe for your organization only or for people, for a certain set of people only, not for general people, okay, you can create it, you can make it private. Okay, at this point, it's your choice. But then if you want to create an open source project, it must be public. Another option that you can do here is you clone a repository. We know that it is very, very paramount. If you take note of what we are doing, all these things that we are doing right now that we're talking about is something that is inevitable. If you want to use Git and GitHub, or if you want to contribute to open source, or you want to contribute, or you want to use Git and GitHub basically, or anything you want to do using Git and GitHub, all these things that we're talking about are very, very important. Initializing Git repository, adding it to the index, committing your work, and as well pushing it to the internet for people to use, or pushing it to the GitHub repository that you are working on. Okay, and as well, at some point you may need to clone a particular repository. Maybe you just want to start working on a repository. You want to start afresh. People have been working on it before. Then you want to join them. You're not the one creating the repository. What you need to do is just to clone that particular repository, and we'll see how to do that a bit. And basically, it's simple. If you are following the pattern we are using, just press Ctrl Shift E. You have your command palette. Inside your command palette, type clone or type branch. You'll be able to see that okay, you can clone a particular branch and you can do a lot of things basically. So that's clone. What clone does for you is to bring that the one online and make it accessible to you offline. You know, when we published in previous slide, when we published, what we did was we take what we have offline, we take it online. But at this point, using Git clone, you are taking what you have offline and making it available. What you have online and making it available offline, so that you can do anything you want to do. And at the end of the day, when you are done, you publish it back to the GitHub and make it available for the whole world to access. At this point, we will be having a quick demo to see what we have been talking about in action. But then before I move on to that, if you have any question, or if you can hear me clearly, let me start from there. If you have any question or you can hear me clearly, you can drop your question in the chat. But if you want to speak, you can raise your hand so that I can just take your question right now before we move on to the next things to be done. Okay, I guess there's no question. Okay, nice. Let's proceed to the demo. Let me stop sharing this particular screen and share another one. VS Code. Okay, what I'll be doing right now, I'll be sharing my VS Code. Seconds. Okay, cool. I'm trying to open up my VS Code so that we can easily use it for everything we want to do. Seconds. Where this pop-up coming from? Seconds. New window. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me share this for us to see. Here another screen coming up for us to see. You know, it's taking time in this particular one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess you can see it. It should be off by now. Okay, okay, cool. Uh, Can anybody hear me? Oh, what's happening to the network? I guess I was off for a bit. If you can hear me, please type one into the chat. If you can hear me, one into the chat. One into the chat. I guess I was off. What's happening to this network? God. Can't miss anybody, can I? Okay, Peter, you can hear me. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, thank God. This is not funny. Yeah, let's just proceed. That's a bit where we find ourselves. Actually, we not have 100%. What's it called? Let me share my screen again. I think it's off before. Next, this particular one. This is the one I want to share. Hi, my network is streaming again. Okay, I want to assume everybody can see my screen, but I need to confirm that before I proceed. I don't want what happened again to happen this time. I need to pick up my camera again. Is my camera on? Camera on. Okay, thank you for confirming my screen is off. Yeah, I'll be opening up a folder by just clicking the, for those of us that doesn't know how to do that, I can click this open folder or just press Control. I'll be able to do that. Then the folder that I want to use for this workshop is in my desktop, and I call it Git with VS Code. Then I can go ahead and open it up. Okay, let me see. Let me confirm it. You can see my screen again. Okay, cool, nice. I guess everybody can see it. So the first thing we need to do is by clicking this particular source control tab at the sidebar left hand panel. If I click it, I can have access. I can go ahead and create initialize Git. Okay, I can just click on this initialize Git. Cool. I think everybody can see it. Okay. Basically, I don't have anything going on here. So for me to be able to do the magic, to do all what we need to do, like basically to make everything realistic, I can go ahead and create a file inside this and call it index dot anything. I can call it index.mg, or don't mind me, but anything basically. If you are working on an HTML or anything that you're working on, so I can create. Let me call it title so that we have something to work with. Let me make a bullet point and call it hello world, hello team. Okay, we'll get done very soon. Okay, I've created one particular thing of a file, but then looking at this particular place at bottom left corner, you can see master. But then I don't want to use master. I want to rename this particular branch to something else. I want to rename it to main, for instance. Okay, what I can do is I can press Control Shift Tab to do that, or I can even click directly on that master branch that we are seeing. But then I will use the palette, the commands to do it. Control Shift P. I can now type branch into the then you can see rename. Using the rename, I can just click on it. Okay, it's pop up that it's master before, but now I want to change it to main, and I can press enter. Okay, so now you can see that it has changed from master to main. It has changed from master to main. Right now, my branch is master. You must note here that I'm not creating a fresh branch. I'm just renaming the one I have before. Okay, so I guess that makes sense to us. Okay, I'm on the main branch, and if I hover over this particular guy, I click on source control. Okay, clicking on this source control. Okay, I can hover over this file and see that, oh, I can add this particular file for Git to track it. Okay, so I'll follow in. If you can still hear me and see my screen, type one into the chat. one into the chat if you can see and hear anybody.
I can see and I can hear, but I don't think I have access to the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No, Rashid, you're muted.
For how long have I been muted like this? That's
Very long.
up.
Not quite long.
Okay. What happened? Okay. Okay. Let somebody tell me where did we stop? Let me see. Do we all get it to the level of adding it to the index? Or should I need, let me just take it 1 minute to do a bit of recap, okay, of everything that we did, like we have done basically. Give me seconds. Let me do this. Don't mind me. I'll open up this guy. We'll open a new VS Code, new window. You cannot see that new window. Okay, but I'll close the one I'm presenting. I don't know what happened. Then present another one. But before presenting it, let me just get rid of this guy. Okay, delete. Okay, then share another screen. We almost done with our time. We only have a bit of seconds presenting this guy. Okay. Which one am I presenting? This. Okay. Present this. Share screen. Okay. Open up it. Okay. I will just take one bit of seconds to do everything I've done. I guess I did not know where you guys see the network went off that time, or I get muted. So what I did basically was, okay, let me just get rid of this. Guys, get rid of this and get rid of this. So inside my this particular one, I created an index.md file and I added some text inside it. Okay, call it title, um, and I added a bullet. Hello. I created another one. I call it file.txt. Just bear with me within seconds. I should be done with this. Not that tedious. And I said hello. Okay, these are the things that I did, and I want to add it to the index. I'll explain that. Then initialize Git repository inside this particular file that we folder that we have. Then I can click on this and this to add it to the index. Then I can add a message. Added new. Okay, then I can commit it easily. It is committed. After the committing, then I'll click on publish. I want to make it public. Then let me give it another name. I've not deleted the one I created last time. Demo one. Then I can make it public by clicking on this public. Then if you've never created this before, you've never used Visual Studio Code to do all these things that we are doing, Visual Studio Code will open up an extension for you to authenticate your what's it called, your GitHub with your VS Code or your machine. Okay, so just follow it as and type yes when it's necessary and type no when it's necessary. Cool. Then I can open it up on my GitHub. Everything is done, and I have everything I have locally. I have it on my GitHub already. So it's as simple as that. Okay, you do not need to be running any command to do all those things that we are doing. Okay, so that's that. I guess I explained the other time that you can rename your branch from master to main. I guess you guys were able to hear me at that point. Okay, so that's basically what we did, and I just copied this so that I will show us how we can do it. It's simple. Just press on Control Shift and this and T. Okay, if you don't, or if you did not remember that, you can click View. Then under View, you see Command Palette there, the first option. Then click it to bring up your command palette. And if you type clone there, you'll be able to see the command to clone. Just click on the Git clone, then put your command and the link of the repository you want to clone. Then you have it. Then click the same it's the same project I'm working on. That's this one. If I still put clone, it will be a kind of conflict basically. So, but then this is how to do it if you want to clone any particular project. And for now, that's about the demo that we need to show. I'll be presenting my screen again so that we can take the challenge and get our swags ready. So, for if you have any question at this point, I guess I can take question. But then if you still want us to go for the challenge first, um, any question? Let me take question.
Sorry. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know if you can repeat that cloning again. I did not get it. Where you
Oh,
cloned.
nice. Okay. Okay. Let me do that. Let me see. Wait, let me check. Okay, I'm sharing again. Desktop, Windows. Oh, I do not have any Visual Studio Code open. Okay. New window. Sorry, I've closed my Visual Studio Code. That's why it's taking time for me to come up with that again. Sorry about that. I need Visual Studio Code. Open folder. Then desktop. it with Visual Studio Code. Okay, have it open now. Okay, let me just share the screen. Visual Studio Code, this particular one share. I guess my screen is up. I guess that's okay. It's up from my other screen here.
Yes.
See that? Okay. Okay. What I did was okay. I used the other method that okay. If you did not remember the command to open your palette, what you need to do is just to go to View, then the first command here, the first button or the first tab here. Click on it. You have your palette. Then type clone into this. Then you have clone, git clone. Just click it. Then it will be requesting for the link you want to clone, the link of the repository you want to clone. Put it here and click on clone. So I can just put this and I'll be able to clone from this particular URL. It is as simple as that, very simple. Okay, I don't know, maybe that answer your question, but if not, you can still go ahead and ask again.
Yes, got him. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I can stop sharing this particular one and share my slide back. My slide. So let's get ready for the challenge. Oops, let me do this first. Give me seconds. It's not this thing I
Hello?
want to share. Go ahead.
Hello? Okay, that master
Yeah,
option,
go
I
ahead.
can't find it on my system.
Master option.
Yeah, at the bottom end.
What can you see at the bottom end?
On your screen, I saw something like masters, but I
Yeah.
can't find it on mine.
Have you initialized this
Yes.
repository? Have you clicked initialize it? What can you find
Yes.
there in your own?
I'm at the sync
What can you see in your
changes
own?
stage now. I already initialized the repository.
What can you see at the bottom screen of yours?
I said I'm at the sync changes stage now.
I didn't get that.
I already initialized the repository and I created the commits.
Yeah, at the bottom screen of your screen, like of your Visual Studio Code, what can you see? That's my question.
Nothing. I can't see anything.
And that's weird. Okay. I guess I can. I will have asked you to share your screen, but then when we are done with the challenge, I'll come back to you and see what we can do to fix that. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Nice. So we want to do another check. What we want to do here is simple. The next slide will be showing us the question, and I'm going to be posting the answer sheet to the chat. So for question one, answer sheet, let me just say answer sheet starts here. The rule is you are not allowed to answer. That's automatic disqualification. Okay, answer sheet starts here. Starts.
Hello, Rashid. Some of us have the chat disabled. Some of us have the chat disabled.
Disable. Okay, let me see what can cause that. That's interesting. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if I can resolve that for everyone. Chat. Actually, I don't know why that is happening. I'm looking for a way to go ahead and do this challenge together mode. Background effects. This is interesting. I not see anything that can help me out on that. Maybe I'll do a Google search. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get chat disable in Microsoft Teams. This is my first time using Microsoft Teams, so don't mind me.
Yeah, hello, Rashid.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, Rashid. Yeah, it's disabled
hear you.
because you scheduled the events through the ambassadors page, so only ambassadors can reply on the chat.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Can I don't know. Can people send me a DM directly here on this Microsoft team? Can you send me a DM? And people that are not ambassadors, sorry. Let me know that. If you can do that, I will rather say, okay, send your answer to my DM, then I will sort them out at the end of the day. Because I don't think I have any other option than that. Okay. This is what we are going to do. I guess you can see my screen bar, the slides, which is showing knowledge check. What you will do is answer your question. Okay. I want to post an hashtag in the chat. So you now go to Twitter and post your answer there. If it is A, just say number 1 A, number 2 B. Post it with this hashtag and make sure if you are not using this hashtag and you are not using the thing I'm typing into the chat right now, I may not be able to track you. But then if you do that, I'll definitely get you and send your swag to you. I guess that's the only option I have for now. Sorry. This is tedious, but just bear with me. Please, you are using Twitter. This is, you can add more, but then the first 3 are the most most important thing for now for me to track what you. If you just add me, then let me add Git with VS Code. VS Code. I'm sorry for stressing us. Okay, so you look at the question, you answer it, then when you want to tweet it, just add the DM on WhatsApp, on Twitter directly. Definitely, I will send you a DM on Twitter. Okay, make sure you add this to your answers, then you'll be able to get your swag. Are we ready? I want to get a confirmation of that. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
I'm not sure where we're going to see the. Okay.
The words.
Where is it you're going to post it? The hashtag you say
I
you want to
posted it
post.
in the chat. Okay, you cannot see the chat. You can't read from chat. Okay,
I can't see the chat.
Okay, it will show on the last slide. I have it on my last slide. Don't worry. Is that got me? I have it on my last slide. Okay, are we ready? After that. Nobody's talking.
Yeah, we're ready. Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, let's just give everybody 10 seconds to think about it. Like, just get ready.
Sorry. So you are saying we shouldn't post the answer here. You are saying we should post the answer on Twitter, not here, right?
Yes, people did not have access to the chat here. Okay, and the condition that we'll be using to choose
all right.
the first we'll be choosing like 5 people. Okay, maybe the first 5 people. The first 3 people, what they will do is they will have choice. It's either to pick from shared or to pick the LinkedIn premium. And the last 2 people, they will have the thing that's either LinkedIn premium or the shared. Okay, so I'm giving us a kind of heads up. First with it. So the first question is up on the screen. I don't know if you can see that. I'm giving us 10 seconds to answer it before I move to the next. From my time.
So you say you're going to give us a hashtag.
Just you make just a single post. Every answer. I'm asking 3 questions. All the 3 questions will be in a single tweet, not different tweets. So just note the answer for this number 1, note the answer for the second one, and note the answer for the third one. Is that taking?
Yes.
Okay, our time is up for the first one, according to my time in here. Okay, let's go for the second one. Okay, our time has started. That's the second one. 10 seconds. Mm. And our time is up for this one too. Then the last one is this. This is the last question for us. And, and yeah, that's the end of. So for the chat, let me just go ahead and show us the hashtag first. Okay, this is the hashtag to use. Microsoft's ambassadors, Git with Visual Studio Code. So the first three are the important one that you need to put in action. The first three, hashtag MSFT ambassadors, Git with Visual Studio Code or VS Code, and make sure you tag me. So those are the three things you need to do. Is that taking for everyone before I conclude my session? Okay, nice. I guess everybody is on Twitter, running to Twitter to tweet. But then, summarily,
Please, I
what
need
we
to get the hashtag. The hashtag.
okay, can you get it? Can you see it on the screen now? It's um 10 seconds for me to move it from the screen and wrap up the session. We are behind our schedule, 5 minutes behind our schedule. Like we have 5 minutes is too much. Okay, I guess everybody's speaking it. So basically, what we have, as you are doing that, listening to the summary of everything we've done, we show ourselves the actions that we can take with Git, the tasks we can do with Git, basic tasks, and all of that.
Hashtag.
People have already posted it because I'm getting notification already. So let me just take that. In 5 seconds, 2 seconds. Yeah. So we've taken. Please don't interrupt me again. If it's not taking it, at the end of the day, I'll show the screen back. Okay, thank you. So we'll talk about the tasks we can do with VS Code, the Git tasks we can do with VS Code, and we did Git add, we did Git commits, we push to the GitHub and automatically create the repository for us. We clone and we try to exploit the interface generally of VS Code. So that's what we did basically. And what that one does for us is help abstract away the needs of memorizing commands, and it's we do not need to maybe install any extension or any other things to do that. Okay, for follow up, we can check the official documentation of VS Code. I wrote I have a simple quick start for us. I created it myself. I guess I will be sharing as a follow up email. I'll be sharing this what's it called, this particular slide with us, so we'll be able to click those links, that basic video, the Git and the GitHub for those of us that doesn't have accounts and that we've not configured our system or our laptop or our machines to have Git configured already. So basically that's the end of our discussion today. Apart from posting your answer on Twitter, we can do a bit of shout out to people that are sponsoring these events, GitHub and Microsoft Learn, Microsoft generally. Okay, so using this hashtag on the screen, tag me, tag GitHub Education, tag Microsoft Learn, use the hashtag Git with VS Code and hashtag MSFT ambassadors. Basically, that's that for now. I really appreciate every one of us for coming. If you have any question, the time is now. Any question, the time is now. Yes, If there is no question, I guess I can stop recording. If you have any contributions or any comments, I guess I can take that with this too before stopping my record. If you have any recommendation, any comments, any addition or any other thing, the time is now for you to do that. Anybody? So I'll close
Yeah,
out in 1 or 2 minutes. Nice.
yeah.
Slides.
I just feel like I should appreciate you for taking this time to, give us the awareness on using Git on VS Code. It's a very nice session. Thank you very much. We hope to get
All right.
more sessions like this in future.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much for that beautiful feedback. Thank you so much, Jafar. That's nice. A lot from this session. Thank you so much. Okay,
You're
let's
welcome.
just take 1 or 2. Okay, thank you. Is there anybody? Okay.
Yeah,
Stopping
I'd
my
like to ask.
recording.
I'd like to ask. Is it possible that we have something similar to this anytime soon?
Sure. What we do in Microsoft Learn is basically different technology, different stuff, different tools. Okay, definitely, I assure us that this work. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Really appreciate.
So I'm stopping.